Are you creating video for money? This podcast has some listener questions with answers you wouldn't expect.
We're on a mission to rid the world of bad video.
Bye-bye.
This is the DV Show.
Target in range.
Bad video sucks.
Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of the DV Show podcast. I'm Brian, your host, and we are a podcast on a mission to rid the world of bad video. Now think about this for a second. Video is the most powerful medium to persuade. Now soak that in. The most powerful. And that's why we want to equip you, the content producer, the videographer, the video editor, the business owner, the media professional. We want to give you the tools, knowledge, and confidence to create better video, to use that power and not screw it up. So find us, listen to us, and subscribe to this podcast. We're on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple, Amazon Music, and 52 other podcast platforms that reach listeners throughout the world. So be a part of that audience and don't make bad video. Now, on this week's podcast, we compiled some awesome question and answers from our social audio group on Clubhouse. It's called Videographers, and it's 22,000 subscribers strong. Now, there is room for more, and that would be you. We'll put a link in the show notes so you can sign up and hop on board to accelerate your learning or to offer your expertise. This is your time to get your voice heard, and it's your time to shine, and we all benefit. Believe me, it's a fun place to hang out. All right, with all of that said, let's get into our first question coming from Trent.
I'm always looking for new markets to start producing videos for. Hotels are currently on my radar. With all of their marketing power and huge budgets, do you think there is a strong reliance on video when they need to get customers back into their rooms?
Great question, Trent. All right, let's get some feedback from actual hotel marketing professionals who can answer this question way better than I can. Now, they have a club on Clubhouse that I attend every so often to get the scoop on marketing and what hotels are up to. Moretz, thanks for taking this question. You know, I'm on Clubhouse so much that I was at a face-to-face meeting and I said, I'm Brian and I'm done speaking, but I'm not going to say that here this time.
So cool. I realized that I started also doing it a bit in Zoom meetings or, like I always say. So this is Moretz, and so I think, Clubhouse is persuading us how we should communicate in real life. Who would like to take Brian's question? This is open to everyone on the panel.
I'd like to hop in because I feel that, Brian, what you said ties right in directly to what I was saying, is that often we use to tell stories. So if persuasion is the art of being able to help someone see that something is in their best interest and to influence their belief, their attitude, behaviors, their intentions, their actions, their movement through life. And I was saying that storytelling is such the powerful way that humans make meaning and create understanding. And so video is one of the most wonderful ways of that, because we see things and we can picture ourselves in those situations. We have the response of some kind of emotional reaction. It's videos is very compelling and engaging for all of the human senses in a certain way. You know, it can activate memory. It activates hope. It activates curiosity. So it's very emotionally initiating. So I think video is wonderful. As when you look to, but there's multiple other media as well. But I do feel like video right now is certainly one of the most powerful because it's so all encompassing. I mean, if we get into holographs and things like that, that might take it to a whole nother level of a human experience. This is Nina. Thank you.
Absolutely. Would anyone like to add anything on this, on the use of video? Go ahead.
This is Akash. So I think video, I actually did read something a little bit like yesterday about video very briefly. And it was really talking about it was more about attention span, actually, that, we are under so many different types of video now. We have like short video, we have like 10-second video, we have memes, then we have documentaries. And I think when you think about video, like it's all the whole thing in advertising and video and visuals is like, how do you get someone's attention, right? And so I think that the connection to persuasion and attention span is really intricate and video is really an area that you see that. The other thing I think that relates to video and to persuasion is authenticity. And everybody kind of hit upon that you can't, it's difficult to call it persuasion when you're not serving the person that you're trying to persuade the idea. It should, persuasion has a positive connotation as a word, I believe, from everyone's point of view. So I think you have to have authenticity to that. And I think video often gives you authenticity in a very quick format, where if you have somebody speaking and you have clips edited in a really quick way, you might be able to gain insight, just like the format of speaking and live audio. So I hope that answers the question. I'm done speaking.
And this is Pam, and I'm often the contrarian in rooms that I don't agree necessarily that persuasion has a positive connotation. I think it can be used for positive or negative. And as you had said, Merritt, there's a line to be drawn in terms of what you're doing. Now, I think Brian's question was really geared to those in hotel marketing, which I'm not. But I see video, and I also see pitches as persuasion and doing the exact same thing. And in a way, those of us, clearly we're looking to use our minds for good and not for evil, but it's understanding the other people, who your market is, what you plan to, accomplish. Certainly me as a potential customer, seeing a video of a beautiful hotel property and I'm choosing a hotel would help persuade me to choose that hotel over another. But I also should point out that, I think YouTube is an obvious example. There are videos on there that are trying to persuade us for not necessarily for what they believe is good for us, but for what whoever the producer believes is good for them. So I would say that persuasion really is about understanding that who you're trying to reach and what you're trying to accomplish, and anticipating what their needs are. And so, in a way, I think it's semantic. So therefore, it's good. It's good for both. But persuasion can also be used very negatively, which is not what we're talking about here. So I just wanted to clarify my comments. This is Pam.
Pam, this is Akash. I just love to interject really quickly. My word for that is propaganda.
And that's persuasion, right? Exactly. It's where you draw the line. We had a room on negotiation versus manipulation, and it's all, there's no bright line, right? It's just, it when you see it, it when you're doing it, you need to step back, and it's a question of ethics and moral value.
Sabin has the next question.
I'm hearing lots of noise in the background of my videos. Car beeps, people talking, and a small hiss. Is there a way to prevent this? Is it the microphone I'm using? How do I clean up the noise so it doesn't annoy the viewer?
Thanks for your question, Sabin. Now we're going to summon Valentin from the videographer group on Clubhouse. He is the audio expert and knows all about audio. So first off, Valentin, it sounds like the microphone he's using, what can he do to prevent this while recording on set?
If you can figure out how loud your audio is talking, so if your talking is at -12 or +12 dB, whatever, my brain can't process what number it'd be at, and then your background noise is at -30 or -40, so it's you can tell where the background noise is from when they're not talking. If you put your music at a couple decibels above that, it will help cover up background noise.
All right, so at this point, he has video with some horrible audio. What's the next step?
I guess probably one of the ways that I know, but just don't know how to do really well, I just haven't done it in forever, is noise removal. If it's a consistent hum or a set of sounds in the background, like nature or something, if you have a section of audio that's 10 seconds long where they're not talking, room tone essentially, you can do two things that'll help. If you've made cuts, you put them over that for room tone, to transition so it's not abrupt. Another thing you can do is noise removal, and that's what they were talking about with Audition. Google noise removal in Audition. Just look that up on YouTube. And basically the concept is it'll take that information and anywhere else in the audio that has similar noises, it will remove that noise. There are advanced softwares that I think are $200 to $500 that will actually take your audio and turn it into a 3D square and isolate those noises. It's crazy, which you can totally do. But if you're looking for something a little bit more budget friendly, that would be the approach I go towards, is Audition or something along those lines.
Opening the download vault now.
Perfect timing. Thanks for your question, Sabin. Now, the Download Vault, this is where we give you links to free software, cool tools, and amazing discounts exclusively to DV Show listeners. Every product, service, or software that we mention here is handpicked and guaranteed to make your video production workflow easier and even faster. Now, these links and deals are only for you, but you have to sign up on the dvshow.com to get the goods. Now, today, we have two cool tools, and wouldn't you know, one is called Neat Video. Now, this is a powerful video editing plugin designed to reduce digital noise, flicker, and other imperfections in your video. It's an extremely effective way to clean up all of that noise from any source, including video cameras, digitized film, TV tuners, and more. The plugin is for Adobe Premiere, Resolve, and other Windows-based editing software. And regardless of the source, any form of noise can seriously degrade the visual quality of your footage. Obviously, Sabin knew that. And thanks to this most advanced noise reduction algorithm, Neat Video offers a way to clean up all of those noisy clips. It's the best noise reduction algorithm in the industry. And we'll put a link to it in the download vault. It's called Neat Video. All right, our next product pretty much does the same, but is web-based and is AI-powered. It removes background noise and echo from Zoom or any video recordings that you upload. It only leaves the human voice. This is interesting. It's AI-based noise cancellation. You can remove unwanted noise from both ends of a conference call, from a headset, a microphone, a speaker, and all you get is the voice. It also removes echo, acoustics, and low power mode, which is aka hissing.
Ready to make your video production workflow faster and easier? Get access to these time-saving products and services on the dvshow.com's website, where you will find special links, free downloads, and special discounts on all of the great tools we mention on this podcast. Go to our website to create your own free account to learn more. Go to the dvshow.com for more details.
Stumped? Need advice? Or just looking for tips and techniques related to digital video? Visit thedvshow.com.
So I walk into my favorite thrift store, and this friendly Jamaican guy recognizes me from the podcast and says,
"Hey DV Podcast man, me have some videographic cameras for you."
So I look down into his cart, and he has two Panasonic AG HMC 150s sitting there. Now, these things are like $900 online, and this thrift store has them in perfect condition in bags for $29.99. This camera was awesome back in the day and still is for that aspiring filmmaker or videographer who wants a professional camera to work with but doesn't have one. And that's why we're going to give this camera away for free. Pay it forward to that person who needs it, because the DV Show podcast is cool like that. We like helping aspiring video makers. All you have to do to get this camera is respond to this video and give us a convincing reason why we should give this to you. That one person who truly convinces us that they're going to use this camera to advance their career in video gets it for free. Click down below and respond fast. This is not going to be available for long. By the way, we're going to put a link up for this big camera giveaway in the show notes of the recorded podcast, but you can find it online at thedvshow.com for all of you listening right now in Clubhouse. You might want to check it out while you are listening. We had an amazing response so far. 150 applicants really want this camera, so a tough decision for us is ahead. Now, again, if you would like to apply and tell us why you need this badass camera, it's in excellent shape. There's a video right there. You can check it out. If you know someone who wants this camera, or if you want it yourself, the link again will be in the show notes of the recorded version of the podcast. All right, let's continue answering some listener questions with our next one coming from Jamie.
I'm an experienced videographer looking to start a video production business but don't have any clients. What is the quickest way to kickstart the business and start building momentum? What is the fastest way to start the flow of clients? To light the spark and just watch my business begin to grow.
Great question, Jamie. I've been there, done that, and you want to launch your business as of now. You're coming to the realization that you have to land some new clients fast or else. Now, I've discovered some secrets to landing business in ways that are free, fast, and downright fun. Now, you may want to sign up for our email newsletter and stick and follow us on social media to get the details on when that's going to happen. I can't mention everything in this podcast, but I can mention that it all depends really first on your attitude. You have to really set it towards success by doing 3 things. 1 is be bold. Don't take anyone's advice about not doing something that will make people pay attention to you, as long as it's legal. Number 2, be creative. Startup time is your most creative. In fact, when business owners who've been around a while ask me what they can do to add new zest to their business, I ask them to tell me what they think they first launched and why they first launched, and do it again. And number 3 is give up your fear, doubt, and insecurity. You love yourself better when you do. Now, the next thing to do is to really take some action. You want to make a website that really gives you some credibility. Now, this is something quick that you can do. Your prospects will appreciate it. Again, we'll be doing a workshop soon about what actually works and how to get one up really, really quickly, super fast. Next, you want to really is create a verbal 30-second video commercial. You can do this because you're a video producer, and that really says something powerful about your business. And next is to start hustling and networking like crazy. When I started my business, I virtually went around the world in these online networking groups where business owners flocked. During the pandemic, they needed video. It was like shooting at goldfish in a pool. And just by word of mouth, the client list got bigger and bigger and bigger. I started getting work and money. So really get the word out there about your business in any possible way. Anywhere else people congregate who possibly could be your clients. Whether it's in the digital space or the physical space, go out there and get the word out. Contact local groups. Offer to give a free 20-minute informative speech and guarantee them you won't sell anything and stick to it. Merely not by selling, your audience will be interested in you and you will get clients. But I have to emphasize network, network, network. Start fishing. Something will bite. Now, we asked the same question in the videographer group on Clubhouse and get some interesting answers on how they started and how they built momentum.
Some other quick advice that really worked with me, instead of going to like the source, like one company, go talk to a distributor. That's really what helped me out. Was I was sponsored by a distributor who was Camera Tools, and they have like an umbrella of companies that they distribute. From them, I talked to Hypermedia, which they have, again, a bunch of companies that they distribute. Working with those 2 companies, and then one source just reached out to me, and, you know, they're like, distribute Blackmagic, Small HD, Vazen, Tangent, you know what I mean? So it was like a trickle-down effect. So if you could get an ambassador of a company that has an umbrella of companies underneath them, like a distributor, that's where you're going to start working with a lot of companies.
It's good advice. I didn't have any amazing financial windfall from a relationship that I had a conversation with, but there was a sales guy at a local guitar center the day they opened here in town, and I shot the shit with him, and he gave me his card, and we stayed in touch and wound up visiting each other a couple times. And he was about to get me a deal with Avid because I had the domain name recordingstudio.com, and inevitably it didn't turn into anything. But it was kind of interesting. I was able to have a conversation with the guy and he is really well connected. So it was interesting.
Yeah, I don't get any financial reimbursements. I just get the gear to test, to keep. Then I just give them my thoughts on what I'd like to see the gear, how I'd like to see the gear evolve and develop. Then I just leave it at that. I don't actually want to get that further involved because it's a minor distraction that I'm not particularly interested in. But I do like letting the gear evolve in my field. So I feel like that's worthwhile.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I know a lot of companies, they'll give you like the 5%, 8%, 10% of like sales, but then you're kind of turning into a salesperson. I was at with Quasar Science. They're like, oh yeah, anyone you could bring, you'll get this percentage and they could get 25% off of Quasar Science or whatever. But like, you're really, you're turning into a salesman, and you're walking into fucking rental houses and camera houses, and you're trying to sell this product to try to make a commission. It's very salesy.
Well, that does it for another edition of the DV Show podcast. Keep in mind, this podcast is powered by you, the listener. Video production is not for everyone. It can easily become overwhelming, time-consuming, intimidating, and technical when all you want to do is create a video that works for you. The options are daunting, and that's why we're here. Now, if you haven't visited our website this week, take a look. Always keep in touch with us at thedvshow.com. You can get in touch with us on social media like Twitter, Instagram, and of course, LinkedIn. And we will see you next week. Keep your questions coming in.
Video production just got easier. The DV Show.
Serious about creating better video? You're in the right place. Subscribe to our free online coaching service and expand your learning beyond our popular podcast.